Welcome students to class 11 chemistry by Sujata Miss, Fatima Convent High School. Unit 1, some basic concepts of chemistry. Today's our topic is dimensional analysis. While calculating, often there is a need to convert units from one system to other. The method used to convert units from one system to other is called factor label method or unit factor method or dimensional analysis. Now let us understand this with an example. A piece of metal is 3 inch long, which is represented by IN. What is the length in centimeter? So we have to convert 3 inch into centimeter. Solution: we know 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter. We can write down as 1 is equal to 1 inch upon 2.54 centimeter, or we can write 1 is equal to 2.54 centimeter upon 1 inch. So 1 is equal to this and 1 is equal to this. So 1 inch upon 2.54 centimeter equal to 1, as well as 2.54 centimeter upon 1 inch equal to 1. Now both of these are called unit factors. Now they convert one unit into another. Now let us see our example. We had to convert 3 inches into centimeter. So over here we multiply the unit factor, or you can say the unit conversion factor, with 3 inches. So here we get 3 inches into 2.54 centimeter divided by 1 inch. That is the unit factor. Now here the inch is cancelled, cancel the units. Centimeter is left out, write down the centimeter and multiply 2.54 into 3. It will convert 3 inch into centimeter, that is 7.62 centimeter. Let us take second example in the unit factor. A jug contains 2 liter of milk. Calculate the volume of the milk in meter cube. So here we have to convert 2 liter into meter cube. So we know 1 liter is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. Now this relations you have to learn. So 2 liters will be 2 into 1000 centimeter cube. This is step number 1. Step number 2, you know this is a unit factor. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So the unit factor will be 1 meter upon 100 centimeter is equal to 1 is equal to 100 centimeter upon 1 meter. Now we need cube, that is meter cube. So here to get meter cube from the above unit factors, the first unit factor is taken and then it is cubed. So we write this 1 meter upon 100 centimeter whole cube is equal to 1 cube is 1, that is 1 meter cube upon 100 cube is 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube is equal to 1 cube is equal to 1. The above is multiplied. Above means 2 into 1000 centimeter cube is multiplied by the unit factor, that is 1 meter cube upon 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube. Cancel centimeter cube, we get the unit as meter cube. 2 into 1000 into 1 divided by 10 raised to 6 gives you 2 upon 10 raised to 3. So that is equal to 2 into 10 raised to minus 3. When 10 raised to 3 comes in numerator, it becomes minus 3 meter cube. So here many a times you have doubts, should we write the unit factor as meter cube upon centimeter cube or centimeter cube upon meter cube? In order to remember that, you can remember that whatever unit you have to convert to, that is whatever unit you want in answer, that should be written in the numerator. So here we want meter cube. It is written as meter cube upon centimeter cube. Example 3. How many seconds are there in 2 days? Now we know 1 day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Now you can write down the unit factors. Now we have to convert 2 days into seconds. Now how to write down? We will just understand and remember the technique. We need the value in seconds and we have 2 day. So we have written 2 day and we want the value in second. So in writing down the unit factor, we have written second in numerator. So here the unit factor will be 60 second upon 1 minute. Now here this minute is in denominator. So I will have here the minute in numerator. So it will be 60 minute upon 1 hour. Again I have the hour in denominator. So I'll write down 24 hour upon 1 day. Hour will cancel, minute will cancel, and day will cancel. And finally I'll get the answer in seconds. This is just a way of memorizing and remembering. So here you have the step, that is 2 day into 24 hour upon 1 day into 60 minute upon 1 hour into 60 seconds upon 1 minute. So unit you will get second, we already discussed. We will multiply 2 into 24 into 60 into 60 divided by 1 into 1 into 1, which is 1. So here we get 172800 seconds as the answer. Laws of chemical combinations. The combination of elements to form compounds is governed by the following 5 basic laws. The first one is law of conservation of mass. It was given by Antoine Lavoisier. Now he performed careful experimental studies for combustion reactions and reached to the conclusion that in all physical and chemical changes there is no net change in the mass during the process. It means that the mass of any one element at the beginning of a reaction will be equal to the mass of that element at the end of the reaction. So there is no net change in the mass during the process or the reaction. Hence he reached to the conclusion that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. So this is the law of conservation of mass. 2. Law of definite proportions. This law was given by a French chemist, Joseph Proust. He stated that a given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by weight. To explain this, he took samples of cupric carbonate, which contains copper, carbon and oxygen. Now he took natural sample as well as synthetic sample. Now here in each case he saw that the proportion of copper, carbon and oxygen found in natural sample as well as synthetic sample was same. You can see the percentage of each over here, they are same. So he concluded that irrespective of the source, a given compound always contains same elements combined together in the same proportion by mass. So this law is also known as law of definite proportion. Law of multiple proportions. This law was proposed by Dalton in 1803. According to this law, if two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the masses of one element that combined with a fixed mass of other element are in the ratio of small whole numbers. So they have given you an example. For example, hydrogen combines with oxygen to form water as well as hydrogen peroxide. Now here hydrogen mass is fixed, that is 2 gram, whereas 16 gram of oxygen combines with 2 gram of hydrogen to give you 18 gram of water, whereas 32 gram of oxygen combines with hydrogen to give you 34 gram of hydrogen peroxide. So here the masses of oxygen, that is 16 gram and 32 gram, which combined with the fixed mass of hydrogen, that is 2 gram, bear a simple ratio, that is 16:32 or 1:2. So here hydrogen has fixed mass, whereas oxygen, which forms water, and hydrogen peroxide are in a simple ratio of 16:32 or 1:2. Fourth one, Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. The law was given by Gay-Lussac. When gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at the same temperature and pressure. Thus, 100 ml of hydrogen combined with 50 ml of oxygen to give you 100 ml of water vapor. Hydrogen 100 ml, oxygen 50 ml gives you water vapor 100 ml. Thus, the volumes of hydrogen and oxygen which combine, that is 100 ml and 50 ml, bear a simple ratio. So that is the law. Avogadro's law. Avogadro proposed that equal volumes of all gases at same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. Our next topic is Dalton's atomic theory. From long time it was believed that matter is composed of small indivisible particles called atomio, meaning indivisible. Now in 1808, Dalton proposed the following, that is the first one, matter consists of indivisible atoms. Second, all atoms of a given element have identical properties including identical mass. So atoms of any particular element are identical in properties as well as their mass. Atoms of different elements are different in mass. Third one, compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. Fourth, chemical reactions involve reorganization of atoms. These are neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction.